Good evening, everyone. I will call the Monday, April 3rd, our regular County Commissioners meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone that came out tonight, despite the little rain we've got. So, at this time, I would ask Commissioner Crump if she would have the invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you'll bow your head. Father, thank you for this day. We thank you for the rain, and we thank you for the sunshine and the change of seasons. We thank you for the beauty out there. It is a beautiful time of year, and we do not take you for granted. Lord, I want to ask that you'll be with us tonight with the commissioners. Help us to be wise and to make decisions according to your will. I thank you for all the people that are working so hard behind the scenes, all the staff in place, and for what they do for this county. And Lord, I just pray that you will be with our great nation. I do feel we are wayward, and I pray that you will help us to soften our hearts and to turn to you. And we ask for your mercy and for your favor. I ask these things through your precious name, Jesus. Amen. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Crump. This time, I would seek approval or adjustments to the agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
I have a motion, Commissioner Lawhon. Do I entertain a second? Second, Commissioner Hatley. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 7-0. Public comment. I had one gentleman sign up, Jonathan O'Toole. Yes. I hope, yes, sir. Come on up. I hope I said that right, sir.
O'Toole's, that's great.
All right.
Yeah, fine. I hope y'all are.
Yes, sir.
What's going on here? I know which is coming up the 15th, April, is for the hazardous house recycling and stuff. It's only once a year. I know I do not get rid of mine except for once a year, but if you miss that once a year, you got to do it again, another year. A lot of people's not going to keep stuff around for a year. So there's going to be somebody somewhere, and it always will happen, that's going to take advantage and dump it inside of the road or whatever. Cabarrus County, I think they have theirs 24 times a year, which is twice a month. And that could be a little extreme, but you know, maybe if we could get one, say every quarter or whatever, even the people that would normally throw their stuff away anywhere, maybe we'll decide that, look, okay, this is a great time to go do it. I don't have to keep it at the house, but maybe 3 or 4 months, and I can get rid of it instead of a year. Because after, like I said, after a year, that's quite a while, and a lot of people, and we have so many people coming into the west end of the county, it's going to be a bigger problem because everybody's coming in, new houses and doing new work and new this and that. And I mean, even if you throw a spray can in your trash and it goes to the dump, there we go. What's going to happen to the groundwater? So I'm just asking if the commissioners will think about it and maybe see if it could get, like I say, maybe every quarter, even 3 times a year or something like that. Just anything to try to get people to do what they should do, which I know, good luck. But thank you very much for your time, and hope everything goes great tonight.
Thank you very much, sir. We certainly appreciate it. Andy, does the landfill offer any?
Yeah, you can pretty much take all that things to landfill. The issue is not going to be free.
Right, this is a free event that we have once a year, but you can
take the overwhelming majority of that stuff any time of the year to landfill, and they'll take it. I mean, you just have to pay the tipping fee, which is based on the weight.
Okay.
So,
All right, thanks, sir. We'll certainly look into it, sir. Thank you. That's the only one I had to sign up for public comment, or is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right, thank you very much. We'll move on. Our next item is a public hearing for consideration of a road name, and our presenter is Mr. Kyle Griffin. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The Communications Department has received a request to name an easement used as a private driveway off Highway 52 South near the intersection of Cottonville Road. The easement meets the criteria to be named as a private driveway based on the county ordinance. There are four structures that will be addressed off of the easement, 3 of which are residences and 1 of which is a residential storage garage. In following the procedure in the county ordinance, property owners were contacted to submit road names, and a majority having chosen the name Pony Express Drive. Tonight, I would ask that, in accordance with the Stanley County road name, road sign, and address display ordinance, along with North Carolina General Statute, that you hold a public hearing to consider the name Pony Express Drive. And following the hearing, I would ask for your review and approval of the road name.
All right, thanks, sir. Any questions for Mr. Griffin? Thank you, Kyle. At this time, I would declare a public hearing open in accordance with the county road name ordinance. Are there anyone here to speak either for or against the road name? All right, at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion that we approve the street name.
I have a motion by King. I'll second. I have a second by Vice Chairman Barbie. Any discussion on that? And that was Pony Express Trail?
Drive.
Drive.
So it is where it's at, and it would be really beneficial to have that, because there's nothing there to see, you would never know those residences down there, so we're really helping the 911 emergency.
I agree with that, and the residents are having issues getting packages delivered appropriately.
Peanut butter box.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Done both. Thanks, sir. Next item is computer-aided dispatch specialist position, and again, our presenter is Mr. Calgary.
Didn't have to go far. In December 2022, the board awarded the bid for the countywide public safety data system replacement to Hexagon. The board approved the capital project ordinance for the project and the full amount, plus the additional ancillary hardware and costs that were associated. Staff worked with the North Carolina 911 board to submit a grant for the project. Last month, the board awarded Stanley County a partial funding of the grant request, just shy of $780,000. Additionally, approximately $507,000 of the expenses for the project were determined to be eligible costs under the Emergency Telephone System Fund. And the existing balance in our ETSF fund will be used towards that project, and a reconsideration request will be submitted for the remainder of the $507,000 that we don't have fund balance already accumulated for. Should the funding reconsideration request be approved by the state, which is very likely, over $1.2 million of external funding sources have been secured for the project. The kickoff for this project is projected to be May 11th of this year, and we estimate that the project will be fully deployed in August of 2024. Post-contract award, we have had regular meetings with our assigned project managers. She's provided extensive information on the process and the implementation and the work that will be required on our end. It is estimated nearly 3,106 man-hours of tasks will be assigned to us as the customer. In other conversations with jurisdictions such as Lincoln County, who are going through this process, they've expressed that they wish they would have started cleaning their data up earlier to allow for a better transition. They've also stated the amount of time and work that is required to ensure that this project stays on task and is successfully deployed. As such, I'm requesting that a temporary position for a CAD specialist be created using the excess funds created by securing the external funding sources. The position would start May 1st of this year and would be directly tied to the implementation of the project ending August 31st, 2024. I recommend that the position be equivalent to that of a lead telecommunicator, the position which categorizes in grade 68 of the pay scale, and the fiscal impact to the project fund for a year's salary and benefits would be $93,000. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Kyle. Any questions for Ms. Griffin?
I do. Kyle, the 93,324,
Yes, sir.
is that for 1 year or is that for the period of May 1st through August 31st, 24.
That'd be a full year's salary. We can do the math to calculate the full year plus, I think 4
3
months. Yeah, 4 or 5 months.
So it'll be the total amount
Yeah, it would be that.
prorated.
Yeah, prorated. We need about 5 months in addition to that full year.
Okay.
Any more questions while Commissioner Lawhon is calculating?
Do y'all have somebody in mind?
We have a telecommunicator on staff that's very familiar with our current CAD environment and the operating procedures. And I think he'd be a good fit in that with his 25 years plus knowledge.
How many hours a week is that, Kyle?
It would be a full-time position, so 37 and a half.
Okay, 37.
Yeah,
He's on staff now,
he is.
and so he would move into this position and
we
would
would-
fill this new
Yeah,
his
we
position.
would temporarily reassign him and backfill his position on the floor with a part-timer.
Gotcha.
That way he's already there. He's familiar with the current CAD environment. He does a lot of work on the back end already. And that way it doesn't pull Chad or I too far away from our other responsibilities and ensures that we stay on task.
Commissioner?
16 months, I think that's the time, 124
Yeah.
or 32.
And that would be covered by the access funds from?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The 93,324 a year, is that what the guy's presently making?
So the telecommunicators, they earn, their salaries are based on 2,080 hours a year. And I believe there's 208 hours of overtime built in. So moving from that 84-hour every 2-week schedule to a 37.5-hour schedule, he would lose a little bit moving away from his overtime.
He's going to take a pay cut to do this?
I think the schedule is the advantageous part. Once you work shift work, 12 hours, rotating shifts, sometimes a change of pace with a 5-day schedule is a little bit is appealing.
This is a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
All right. Temporary.
Yes, temporary.
All right, any more questions? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move approval of this position.
I have a motion, second by Commissioner Shudo. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, motion
Thank you.
passes 7-0. All right, item number 4 is a public hearing economic development incentive grant. And our presenter is Ms. Candace Lowry. Welcome home.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. I've come before you tonight on behalf of the Stanley County Economic Development Commission to request you conduct a public hearing and request your support for our business development grant equal to 30% of new taxes on new investment for 5 years for a proposed expansion project. The company requesting this support is a manufacturer and distributor of commercial paper products. The project will create approximately 8 new full-time jobs with benefits and will result in investments of approximately $1.5 million in machinery and equipment over the next 5 years. I'd be happy to answer any question you might have about the project and appreciate your consideration of this request.
All right, thank you, Ms. Louder. Any questions for Ms. Louder?
How much are the jobs paying?
Actually below the county average, but slightly above the Oakboro average. So the average wage of the new jobs is $33,280 or $16 an hour. They do have a health care benefit and they have an employer match retirement plan of up to 3%.
Okay, any more?
Candace, could you explain, just for the record, what happens when someone applies for this, and if they're granted that, what they must go through before they're able to get this benefit?
Yes, ma'am. So we meet with the company multiple times to really understand what they plan to do. And in this case, the company has some underutilized space. It's a large facility. They're right now using this space, 75,000 square feet for storage. It was recently vacated by a tenant. And so they'd like to maximize the use of that space and bring it into their production, which, you know, warehousing jobs are not as high paid as production jobs. So that's a good thing for the community. And so once we really understand what they're doing, we take the project. We bring a lot of factors to this board, what the jobs will look like, what the investment will look like, and over time, what a grant like this would look like on paper. So the way the money flows is after the investments are made and jobs are created, the investments are taxed. You know, taxes are due by January the following year. And then the company requests a payment, and we require that they provide employment verification through an NCUI form. That's a state form that reflects payroll taxes that are paid. We receive a certified statement from company leadership, and we verify in our own tax records. We do an independent verification of how much that company's tax base grew year over year. And so the amount of the grant is calculated based on the difference of the baseline, which was the amount of the taxable property before the expansion was done, and then what the new taxable value is. And so what those taxes look like vary depending on the municipality. Right now, our county tax rate is 61 cents. And so, for instance, this grant would if it was a $1 million project, we'll work in round numbers, it would be, you know, new taxes paid on that $1 million difference in what the baseline is and what the new value is. And it would be 30%. So we would still retain 70% of those new taxes.
Thank you for that.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Sure, Commissioner.
Is Oakboro helping out on that any?
We have their public hearing April 17th, so we have reviewed the project in closed session, and we plan to proceed with a public hearing like this for that body.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, Candace. At this time, I will open a public hearing. Anyone here to speak for or against this incentive grant? All right, at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the economic incentive equal to 30% of new taxes for a 5-year period with a minimum investment of $1.5 million, resulting in creation of 8 new jobs.
All right, thanks, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Harvey. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. Our next item is NCDEQ grant resolution, and our presenter is County Manager Andy Lucas. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. The county received essentially an earmark through the state budget process of American Rescue Plan funds. This was established through their Session Law 2022-74, and it was designated for wastewater improvements in actually the city of Locust, the town of Oakboro, the town of Norwood, and the county. There was a $900,000 grant. $500,000 is earmarked for the city of Locust, $250,000 for the town of Oakboro, $100,000 for the town of Norwood, and $50,000 for the county. So the county was designated as the fiduciary agent for these funds. So the county was responsible for gathering all the information from all the municipalities, putting that into DEQ's required grant application and format. We just recently got approval from them. We've been working with them since last August to try to get this grant approved so we could start moving forward. They just recently gave us the notice of proceed, and so now we're just, this resolution is part of the process we have to go through to start pulling, or at least seeking reimbursement from them if we, as long as we check the right boxes in terms of it has to be engineered plans, they have to be, it's got to be noticed and bid accordingly, and all the things that are required for the use of the American Rescue Plan funds. And so what will end up happening is we'll have interlocal agreements with each of the municipalities that'll sort of basically dictate that, hey, once you have your project and you want to be reimbursed for some portion of the funds and you've checked these boxes, you send it to us, we'll send it to DEQ. If they approve it and they send us the check, then we'll pass the check along to the municipality. So money's just sort of flowing through us, and the administrative and all the reporting is also through us, and so we're having to carry a little additional burden. But that's the way the state decided they wanted to fund this grant. So the first step in that is to approve this resolution this evening, and then we'll move forward with the municipalities and getting them up and running. And we've been coordinating with their engineers to make sure that they're fully aware of all the stipulations and requirements of these grant funds. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thanks, sir. Any questions for County Manager Lucas?
I like the motion that we approve the resolution.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner King. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-9. Thank you, sir. All right, at this time, item number 6 is the consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
All right, I have a motion, Commissioner Shudo. Have a second? Second, Commissioner Lawhon. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Board closing comments. Who did I start with last time? Commissioner Hadley, let's go with you. All right, Commissioner Lawhon. What words of wisdom do you have for
Words of
sir?
wisdom. First, I want to say our airport director, Ken Swearingen, will be retiring as of, I believe, July 31st of this year, which will open up the airport directory job. I know that the chairman of the airport authority and Commissioner Hatley, me, and Andy Lucas met. Has that job been posted yet, Andy?
We'll post it on April 15th. And
Okay.
that will allow us sufficient time.
All right, so the job will be posted April 15th. I want to wish Ken a great time in retirement and tell him we appreciate what he's done over the last number of years that he's been out there. I love to talk about our airport because it's a great asset the county has. If you haven't been, I encourage you to go out there. If you're interested in applying for this airport director job, it will be coming up April 15th.
It'll be on the county's website.
On the county's website, okay. That's one thing. I want to give you the monthly report on Stanley County Airport. Get it up. Coming up. They were 3,421 operations. Of that total, 1,589 airplanes landed. 1,690 took off. 94 were go-arounds and 48 were overflights. So pretty busy airport. Great airport. You need to go, citizens, you need to go see your airport. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Vice Chairman Barbie?
Don't have anything.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner King?
I just want to thank Johnny and Martha for coming out and bringing that up. I think that's a important factor that y'all brought up, and it may help with some waste on the side of the roads. Thank y'all so much for taking your time to come out tonight.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Shudo?
Yes, great idea. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Just a couple shout outs to Tim Hedrick. Tim Hedrick was named the 2023 Arts Person of the Year for Stanley County, and Wanda Manus was named the 2023 Fine Arts Educator of the Year. And keeping with the arts, I don't know how many of y'all got a chance to go to the Talent Company to see Cats and the Aristocats. Phenomenal performance by the young folks. The Talent Company is a phenomenal group. The young people pretty much make almost all the decisions in that group, so it's also a leadership thing. And it's down at they had it at the Almore Neighborhood Theater, and that's a very good venue because it's quaint And, you know, we got two good venues with that and the Ag Center, and this is one that really makes it quaint for, I think they hold a couple hundred people, I think, down there. And then lastly, congratulations to the inductees for the Sports Hall of Fame. There's 6 of them, or 5 of them this year. You have Al Andrew, he's being inducted. You have Shanna Smith, phenomenal she was a softball player. Played for, I believe, was NC State. Greg Spate, Juan Sturdivant, who was drafted, I don't know how long he played for the Arizona Cardinals, but pretty cool that T.A. McClendon is finally getting inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. He brought a lot of attention to Stanley County back in the day when he was playing for Albemarle High School and also for NC State. And I always saw a lot of those games, and one thing about TA, he gave his body for NC State. He played hurt all the time at a top level, and I'm just very excited that he's going to be in the Stanley County Sports Hall of Fame. And Wes Durham is going to be the guest speaker, so look for details and stuff. That's all I got.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Crump.
I only have one thing, and that would be, I don't have a report on the health board meeting for the month, but we do meet on Thursday. It is open to the public. It's at 6 o'clock, and we meet over at the Commons area over at the health department if you want to come.
Thank you very much. I don't really have anything other than, this is Easter week. The reason why we celebrate a lot of the freedoms and things that we do is because the person that died on the cross. So I hope that you attend your local services this week. During something's terribly wrong, but we need to get it straightened out. But anyway, thank y'all so much for coming tonight, and I would hope that you attend your local church's services. At this time, I will recess our meeting until Thursday, April 13th at 5 p.m. for a joint meeting with the Stanley Community College Board of Trustees in the Dennis Community Room located in the Patterson Building on the Stanley County Community College campus. Again, thank y'all so much for coming.